My name is Andrea Goyen. I'm the Chief Innovation Officer at 10 Strands, and I oversee the Data Initiative for Environmental and Climate Action in California Schools. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the broader context factor of climate impacts data, and we're going to really look at what were some of how's it laid out on the website, and what were some of the guiding questions that we're taking a look at. So this is one of our broader context factors that we really wanted to understand how how is each the area that the school districts are in, how are they going to be impacted by the effects of climate change? So some of the key questions we're looking at are what are the projected climate impacts for each county? And then we're thinking about how's that going to threaten the core function of schools. We used a lot of different data sources for this. Specifically, we were looking at some of the work of the IPCC and some of the amazing databases that are available in California. And we took a mid-range scenario of understanding the impacts. So meaning that we think there's some level of climate mitigation that's going to be happening, we're not going to go the most extreme, but we're also going to not be completely doing nothing, but a mid-range scenario. And you can click here to learn a little bit more about the methodology. The impact indicators that we're looking at in this investigation is extreme heat, wildfire, extreme precipitation, and sea level rise. We know there are quite a few other climate impacts that could be looked at, but these four have so far been the most relevant to the potential disruption to school. And so this is the four that we were taking a look at. We also spend a lot of time really thinking about biomes. So counties are big. There's 58 counties in California. Each one is fairly diverse in terms of the geographical biomes that are in that area. So when we put this together, we wanted to just acknowledge that any given county might have agriculture, but they might also have coastal areas to it. Some counties might have some desert biome, but they also might have forest as well. Some counties might have grassland and mountains, and then most counties have some type of urban, but not all, right? So we just really wanted people to understand that you have to really think about where you're placed in your county to think about just how much you're going to experience something like extreme heat or wildfire smoke, or precipitation and storms, right? It kind of depends on the biome that you're in. So taking all of the data into context of what biome are you for your school district. Now, at the very bottom of this page, we have you can filter this by county, and we have all of the risks for that particular county displayed on this one chart. So you can think about for the county, the example here is Alameda. We have how many districts are in Alameda, how many schools, and the number of students, and then we have all the risks to that particular county. And again, you can filter this. So if you wanted to take a look at a different county, like say you wanted to look at Colusa County instead, now you can take a look at what their collective impacts are. We also point to that there's another data project that looked at this for individual schools as well. So that's something that you can jump to. But going back up, you will need to use these buttons to take you to the individual indicator pages. So I'm just going to jump to extreme heat so you can get a sense of that page. When you come here, you'll see where we have the core questions displayed here. For this one, we're looking at what are the projected climate impacts for California. That's our core question. For this specific one, we're thinking about what are the climate impacts related to heat? How's that going to disrupt school? We have a lot of different like data indicator definitions on each page, just because some people might be unfamiliar with the topic, and really understanding why we use specific, like what are the thresholds that we are using for each data set. You can, as you come down into here, you'll see that there are ways that you can filter the map. You can select the decade that you want to look at. And then we also have information about understanding the potential disruption of this particular topic to schools, and then thinking about recommendations for school leaders. So this can become even more of like a toolkit as you get down into this section. And we actually, while we have some examples here, there's even more in another partnership that we have in this climate resilience toolkit that we did with the state agency, California Collaboration for Educational Excellence. We actually have a whole toolkit just for educational leaders to be thinking about these climate impacts. But coming back to our data website, you'll find there's a ton of different resources. You can then come back to the climate impacts page if you're like, okay, I'm ready to leave high heat and maybe I want to look at extreme precipitation, right? So all of that's there for you. If you have any questions, please reach out to us.